Honestly, right now is, we're starting to go into the final stretch and the playoff picture is starting to heat up and teams are grasping of who they could potentially be playing in the first round, and those spots are starting to fill in, and they're filling in quick. Points are very important from here on out. In this video, what I do want to break down to is I'm going to talk about their points, their records, and some of their games that they have on hand that are coming up, and potentially what could falter and knock them out. Okay, this game could be a determining factor if they push forward in the playoff race, or if they, start to pack up their bags and head out. So honorable mentions is teams that are doing really good right now to 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. And number one would be the team that I think they're done. Honorable mentions right now are the Penguins and the Islanders. Right now they have the most points out of these 6 teams. They're sitting there with 82 points. They've been 7-2-1 in their last 10, so they are trending in the right direction. If they keep winning big games and win on out here, they're going to have no problem, and they'll sit comfy in the playoff spot. And then I would say the Penguins, they have 80 points right now. After that big win last night against the Avalanche, they jumped back into the 8th spot there, and so they got to win some more big games. They got Dallas and they got Washington coming up too, and so it just, like I said, every point matters. All right, number 4, I'd say is Florida. Right now they're sitting at 79 points. Their record is 36, 28, and 7. In their last 10, they have gone 7-2-1. If there was a team that I think could make that quick jump, it would be the Panthers right now. They look ready to strike. They have the most points. Since the All-Star break, they are 12-6-1. They have some tough games coming up. They got to play Toronto 3 times. They got to play the Rangers, and they got to play Carolina. I think what would really determine if they're done or if they continue on is how they respond to the Toronto series. Like if they lose 2 of those games, it might be time to pack it up and they might be done for the season. All right, number 3, Ottawa. They're sitting at 73 points right now. They're 34, 32, and 5 in their last 10. They have been 3-6-1. I wrote down at a key point here that I think what can potentially be the key factor of them making that 8th spot or that 7th spot is their losses. They lose big. When they lose hard. They don't get points out of any of their games. Like they don't share or split a point with having an overtime loss. Out of all the teams, they have the fewest overtime losses. And that looks like a good thing, like a positive, but they're not winning any of those games like how Boston, because Boston has one of the fewest, same with Carolina, but it's like instead of an overtime loss, it's naturally a win because Boston doesn't lose. Like they've been doing really, really good. And so I think that could be something that holds them back when it comes to the point value. They got to play the Devils once, they got to play Tampa Bay twice, and they also play Carolina twice. And so I think the key factor on if they're done and when they could potentially be eliminated will probably be in those Carolina games. All right, number 2 is the Capitals. Right now the Capitals are sitting at 74 points. They are 33, 31, and 8. In their last 10, it's been really tough. They are 4, 4, and 2. They have a few big games coming up. They got to play some of the New York teams like the Rangers and the Islanders. They play the Penguins, and then they also play Tampa Bay. Then towards the end of the season, to round it out, they have to play Boston and the Devils. So they have a lot of big games on hand. It's been a tough season for them. They've been on and off. They've shown signs of being one of the best teams and about to go on a run, but then they've had other silly losses, like the other day when they lost to the Blue Jackets. I've also watched them lose to Anaheim twice. Like somehow Anaheim had their number. They did the right thing today. They beat the Blackhawks. They just need to continue. They need to build on that, and they need to, for these next few games, instead of having a record of like 4, 4, and 2, they need to be like 7, 2, and 1. Like they need to win out. They need to win those games because every point is crucial right now. I'm not going to sit here and count out Ovi and say, you know what, they're not going to get in because it's anybody's game. You don't count out the captain, and I'm not going to count him out. There's still plenty of games to be played, and so I'm not sleeping on them. And then number 1 is Detroit. They sit the farthest out of the playoff reach with 71 points. They have an even record of 31, 31, and 9. In their last 10, it has also been tough sledding, 7 and 3. No overtime losses. They've lost 4 out of the last 6. Since the All-Star break, they've gone 9, 12, and 2. And what's tough is I gave this team a lot of love. I thought they were one of the hottest teams when they went on that streak there towards the end of February and beginning of March because they were playing some of the best hockey. They beat the Capitals, they beat the Rangers, and they were playing really good, but that loss to Tampa Bay at home when they got shut out. I think that's what kind of started the spiral a little bit for them recently, where it's been tough. They've lost tough games. So what would be a key factor is how they answer and how they respond to those 2 games against Pittsburgh and those 2 games against Carolina. I don't want to say they're done yet. Can't lose any more of those tough games, or pretty soon here mathematically they're going to be eliminated. Out of these 6 teams though, I would say right now the safe bet right now is to keep it how it is, with the 7 and 8 seed, with the Islanders in it and the Penguins in it. I can't see Ottawa making that big jump. I can't see Detroit making the biggest jump and trying to steal that 7th spot or that 8th spot. The one team that I will not sleep on though, and it's a little hard for me to say because it's Ovechkin, those Capitals, man. So we'll just have to see. My soft bet right now is I would say that the 7 and 8 spot is going to be taken up by the Islanders and the Penguins, but we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. The Islanders could collapse, the Penguins could collapse. You know, in fact, Florida and Ottawa could collapse, and then the Capitals and Detroit sneak in. So it all just depends. Every point from here on out matters, and it's important for this playoff race. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.